So here we are. We've gone through everything button by button, all in order. We didn't get lost a single time. We finished up with doing the media CSS, and everything is looking pretty good. And now what we have to do is stylize the widgets, and we have to style the nav bar. So let's do that right now. We're going to go to our tool, and here's how we begin to style. If you go to Going Responsive and get the responsive widget styling. Here's the code right here. You grab that code, and guess where you put it? Yes, you guessed it. You put it inside your media. Yes, the media. And we're going to start with 960 and paste it right at the top. Now, if we did this right, and we save, and we upload it, we should maybe see a difference, maybe not. Remember, you are moving the media CSS over, because that's the one we change. And so, there we go. Alright, immediately we see a little bit of difference. We see our hamburger up here. We see our buttons. So we have buttons that are red in the rest state. When you mouse over them, they're blue. When we pick that button, the current page turns purple, and mouse over brown and yellow, and so we can see that. Alright, let's begin to stylize that. Okay, so let's move these buttons up. Oh, let's start with the hamburger. Let's make it a little bit bigger and put it closer in the corner. So let's go to media. And we can see right here in the background A, that's the hamburger. Here's the menu D that we downloaded. So let's change it to, I don't know, 40 by 40. Make it 10 pixels from the top. 10 pixels from the left, that's fine. Let's save all. Move the media up, because that's the one we're changing. Let's go look at our site. Let's see what happens to the hamburger. Okay, turns 40 by 40, turns 10 pixels from the top, 10 pixels from the side. Good, it still works, that's a good thing. Let's move these buttons up. Let's move them up to the nav bar. So, let's go back to our media. And let's go down to where it is right here. Nav position absolute top. Let's make it, I don't know, let's just guess here, 167, I don't know. Let's see if that works. FTP, the media up there. I'm guessing around 167 because the header is 100. Okay, that's good. But looks like they're kind of, the padding needs to be adjusted because they're a little bit too much. So let's go over here to, yeah, let's do this. Let's put a little, and this will be on yours when it comes. Let's see, move buttons up and down. So now you'll know where to look there. Okay, so that moves the buttons up and down. But we decided we needed some padding changes, so let's put some padding. Let's put, I don't know, looks like there might have been 3 on each side. Let's see. Let's take a look. Let's move our media up. And let's see if that worked. Okay, that kind of worked. It looks like we can move them up a little bit, so we'll do that. Because you got to see what's involved here. Let's see, move buttons up and down. 7, I don't know, 6. Let's see if that'll work. But the idea here is that you can see that you have got to like redesign the page. Looks like we could probably use a little bit more padding. And then we'll probably have to move it up 65. Move the media CSS over and see if that works. Okay, that looks pretty good. But what do we think about this red and violet and the blue. Well, since those are general changes and not having anything to do with the size of the screen, because no matter what size the screen is, the buttons are still going to stay the same color. So where you change that, of course, is not in your media, which affects the size, but you go to Style CSS. Now you can look and you can see, let's see, general horizontal menu styles. It's number 5. Let's go down to 5. Oop, here's 6. Alright, now look. We know those ugly buttons are red, and when you mouse over they're blue, so that would be affected here. Let's see if we can find a good color for our buttons. I'm going to Photoshop. Just click here. Get the copy of, or the color of the nav bar. I'm going to go here, and instead of red, I want it to be that color. And instead of yellow, I'm going to make that white. Okay, let's see if that makes some difference. Let's see if that's beautiful. Ooh, but we changed it onto Style CSS, so let's move the Style CSS over instead. Okay, so now but look at those mouse overs. Let's go to Photoshop. Let's just make them a little bit darker when you mouse over them. Just a little bit darker. So instead of blue, we'll put the octothorpe. Make sure the octothorpe is there. And we'll keep the color white as well. Let's move over that old Style CSS. So we're making changes in the Style CSS and not the menu or the media, because these are general colors no matter what size. Okay, we really can't deal with that. So that's the visit. So whatever page we're on, that button will be that color. So let's, instead of that violet, unless you really like it, we're going to make it the same dark color of the mouse over. And instead of orange text, we'll make it white. Now see, the reason I made those colors especially ugly, it was so that you would be able to identify the violet and the red and things like that. Okay, so when we mouse over it, it's still brown and yellow, so let's go back to the Style CSS. Here's the brown. I don't know. Let's go back to Photoshop and say, make it a little bit lighter instead. Maybe that'll work, I don't know. You're the artist, you determine the beautiful colors. I'm sure you'll do better than I will. Okay, and then we'll make that white still. So now when you upload that style, we should see that when you mouse over the current button, yeah, good. So when you mouse over it, it turns darker. When you go to that page, the button stays that dark color when you mouse over it. Very good. Okay, I like that. Okay, so now we got these buttons going. Let's do something with these colors. Now remember, because the colors are general, they're in the Style CSS. So let's go to the Style CSS. Maybe we should make these widget titles black. Let's go to the styles. And if we get lost, we can always go to the top and say, okay, let's see. Oh, general WordPress widget styles. And that's what those are. So let's just go ahead, and it's number 6. Where are we? 6. Here we go. Okay, so the widget, we can see the widget titles. Let's see, widget. Oh, here we go. Text widget. Oh, widget title. Right now it's that red, that maroon. Let's make this. Let's just make it black. Oh yeah. Okay. So, and I move the styles over and refresh my beautiful page. They're black now. Okay, well what about these letters in the cal? Let's deal with the calendar now. And since we're in the general widget, there should be something on calendar. Let's see. Space. Okay, box that holds the whole calendar, the month calendar. Let's see. Okay, the white, that would be the calendar month layer. Okay, so let's make that black. Okay, and the calendar weekday label, that would be these. Right now there's some kind of gray. Let's go to Photoshop and get that dark green. Like this, some kind of dark green. Go to our style, let's see, calendar weekday label. Okay, right now they're that gray, they should be dark green. Let's see, calendar dates. When the dates are unlinked, that is if there's no blogs, it looks like they're gray now. Let's make those black. Okay, how about when the calendar, when there is actually a blog? Let's make that dark green. Okay, and visited, I might as well keep it the same, and it's inherited. And calendar dates linked. Looks like the same thing. Oh, for the hover. Oh, it should say hover there. Alright, so let's make that a little bit lighter green. So when you mouse over the dates that have a link, they will turn a little bit lighter green. Let's see. I'm going to save that. Let's see what our calendar looks like. Style. Let's go to our page. Huh, that's better. We can now see things. Okay. So now we can see the calendar, and it's beautiful. Green, November. Good, good. Here, what we should do is we should make a post. Let's create a new post just so we can see it. New post. We'll call it responsive fun. I'll put some stuff in here. And let's put it under silly and publish it. And so we should see our link on our calendar. And there it is. So when we mouse over the date, it will be styled the way we want it. Okay, what about these guys? Those are kind of light. Those would be like, let's go back to our style. Style CSS and see if we can figure out where those are. Let's see. Widget title, no. Archives, pages, categories, hover. Archives, pages, category, links. This is where they would be right now. They are white. Let's make them a darker green. These are links. Copy. Make those green. So this is under archives, pages, and category links. Here is where you hover over them. So let's make that a little bit lighter. Okay. Here they're gray. Let's make them lighter. Okay, let's see how that works. Let's move over the style. And the reason we're doing style is that these are general. These are general changes. Alright, so now the color scheme is working for us. Good. Uh-oh. We have a white visited here. Let's see what is wrong with going on there. So that would be the calendar. Calendar month label, weekday label, dates unlinked, dates linked, visited. Oh, looky right here. These are that's why those are white. So let's put it back to the color. There we go. All right. So you can see that what we're doing is we are styling this for the general. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So now we see which ones we visited because they have they have an underline. Okay, so let's see how this looks. Let's see how we're coming along. Oh no. Look, everything's all wrong. The buttons are down, the calendar's over, and we gotta fix that. So what we gotta do is we gotta go back to our media screen, and all of those styles, let's go, all of these styles that we just fixed, go down to our right here. This is what we just did for 960. And they're all labeled for you. That's all the things we did for 960. Copy. Let's go down to 768. Paste them. Save them. Upload the media. And let's see. Alright, a little bit. We gotta move the buttons up a little bit. So let's go and move the buttons up a little bit. Yeah, where's it at? Where's it at? Here's this. 768. Okay, let's go. Make sure we're in. Here's 960. 768. So let's see, move buttons up and down. Let's see, how many pixels do you think? I don't know, 30. So let's make it 30. See if those move those buttons. Let's see if that moves those buttons up. Ooh, that was a good guess. Okay, so those seem to be working, but we could also adjust the size of the font, but we're not going to do that on this one. But look where the calendar is. The calendar is moved over. So let's go and change the media screen 768 for the calendar. Let's see, do we have a calendar? WordPress widget styles. Here's the box that holds the calendar. Okay, first of all, let's go and change the caption, which is the month label, to 12 pixels. Let's change all the calendar fonts to 12 or 12 points. Okay. Let's see if that helps. Save. Move it up. Ooh, it looks like it. Okay, so they moved. Good. They got smaller. And now all we have to do is move it over a little bit. So let's look for the box that holds the calendar. Right now it's left 25. Let's make it, I don't know, left 15. So as you can see, you are basically redesigning the page and styling it for every single media screen. There we go. Alright, it moved it over. Maybe we can move it over a little bit more to 13. Let's see. So as you can see, you are changing the widgets, you're changing the buttons. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so that looks pretty darn good. Okay, let's go down and see 480. Ooh, that's really mixed up. Okay, so let's move our button bar up. Let's go to our media, grab all of that which we created for our widget styling. Copy that. Go down to 480. Paste it in. I'm going to give myself some space. Okay, so what's our problem? Our problem is, first of all, our buttons got to move up. So let's go to buttons. Move the buttons. Okay, 480. Alright, 480. Okay. Okay, it looks like we didn't get everything that we needed. No, we did not. Let's grab everything. Navigation button styles we didn't get. So let's go down and grab this again. Copy this. We just didn't grab everything. That was our problem. Okay, fine, my problem. Okay, make sure you get all of the styles, including the button styles. Okay, now we gotta go to 480, navigation buttons. Okay, here it is. Let's move them up. So let's move them to, I don't know, maybe 80. Let's see. So as you can see, this part is pretty tedious, but this is what is involved. Okay, the buttons are way too big because they go all the way across. So I'm going to do things like go in here and I'm going to reduce the size of the, I'm going to knock this down to like 8 points. 8 points. I'm going to change the padding to 2. I might change the nav bar size too. I might reduce the nav bar size from 20 pixels to 10. I'm going to save that because I made a lot of changes there. Move the media over. There we go. Okay. It's still kind of too big. So I'm going to go and I'm going to reduce the padding off the left and the right of my buttons. Let's see if I can find that right here. I'm going to reduce the padding to 8 pixels. It looks like I'm going to go and move the nav bar maybe a little bit. Maybe I'll make the nav bar back to where it was. It was way too skinny there. Okay, nav 10, yeah, that's way too much. Let's make it 18 pixels. Okay, so I made a bunch of changes. I'm going to move it up and see how it looks. Okay, it could use a little bit more work, but that's fine for now. Okay, now look at the calendar. Now the calendar is way over there. So let's go style the calendar for 480. Make sure we're on 480. I always like to go back to the top. Okay, let's find the calendar. All right, 13. Let's put it over 1 pixel. And the label, let's change that to 10. And these down to 8. You know, 8 points, 8 points, 8 points, because we're getting kind of small there. We got to make it fit on that sidebar. Let's see. Move the media over. And as you can see, it is going from media screen to media screen and changing all of that as we go. Okay, things are looking pretty good, The calendar, I think I'll move the calendar over, so I'm going to go here and find the box that holds the whole calendar, and I'll move it over 8 pixels. Let's see. I know this sounds terrible, this looks terrible, you know, to do it this way, but really, that's how this is done. And then when it gets down to the phone, okay, so let's say we're happy with this. Okay, so that's pretty good. Now when we go to the phone, we can see this button bar is totally useless now. So let's go and grab what we just did all the way down to our search button. Go back to 480 all the way to the top here. Blah blah blah. 480. Copy this. Go down to our phone size. Paste it in. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look. Let's move our media over. Let's hit refresh. Okay, our button bar is now at the top, but our button bar is kind of useless because now we can expect our people to use our little hamburger over there. Do you see how everything now stacks up just the way it should? Let's get rid of this nav bar altogether. What do you say? Let's go to our 480. Let's make sure we're on our 480. Yes, or I mean our phone. And then we'll go down to our nav bar that we styled. And we will put display none. That means that when it gets that small, we don't need that button bar anymore. It will disappear altogether. There we go. So here's our phone. Everything stacks up, looks beautiful, works good. And that is how we go and we style each media screen and basically we have to style each size just like it was a whole nother website. When we get over here, maybe the moose is maybe this is too big, it's covering up the moose. We can go in and change that. And the phone, make sure we're on our phone size. Let's go to this. Let's move it over. I don't know. Let's make it back. Let's move it over. I don't know. Let's move it over 100 pixels. Let's test it. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. Let's move it only 5 pixels from the top. And move it over 120 pixels. And so all of a sudden our menu is in the middle. There. And now people will be able to navigate even on such a small screen. Okay, so that was pretty tedious. If you're still watching, congratulations. But there it is. We'll continue in a minute.